Hey y'all, it's Pam with Living in Charlottesville. Don't want to miss today. I am talking about the top pros and cons of living in Charlottesville, Virginia. And they're all in one place. And you know, I am not the Chamber of Commerce. Let's go. Hey y'all, it's Pam with Living in Charlottesville. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to get into the top pros and cons of living in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I want you to see this all in one place so that you know. Also want you to know that you can either email, call, or text me. And as everybody you hear everybody on YouTube say, would love for you to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. So here we go. Number one, I am very proud to say, is our art scene, including music. Art scene, including music. Charlottesville is a phenomenal hub, and we're often compared to some other areas, Asheville, things like that, where people are trying to get that quirky Charlottesville arts vibe. And you know what? Charlottesville has been that way since the day that I've been here, which has been forever ago, back when dinosaurs roamed the land, but we won't discuss that. So, from large art installations and murals such as Ix Park to the McGuffey Art Center, arts and music are a huge support and are hugely supported by the community and with involvement from a variety. So it's not all the one same. Like if you drive down certain streets, all you're going to see are colonial houses. Sorry, that's all you're going to see. Very cookie cutter. But our arts and music scene, absolutely spectacular with feedback from the entire, honestly, with feedback from the entire world, because we have the Kluge Rue Aboriginal Art Museum. And who else can say they have that in their community? So we have feedback from local artists, very local, who have been born and raised here, all the way to other parts of the country and our sister cities. So the arts and music. The other thing with the music, Fridays after 5 at the Ting Pavilion. A lot of communities will do this during the summer. The Ting Pavilion, so Ting, just FYI, is our fiber internet provider. So the Ting Pavilion, it looks like a giant tent, and I've shown it to you. It's off the downtown mall, very easy to access, and it's an open air venue that a lot of events go on and at. So at the Ting Pavilion during the summer, we have Fridays after 5, wide variety of artists who perform, very local bands from Virginia. I don't know that we have a lot of bands from out of the state, but I could be wrong. Free to attend, welcoming to families, singles, couples. But the other cool thing is they tie it in with community service. So places like the SPCA, Boys and Girls Club, they can come and do service, which is normally selling beer and wine, and earn money for their organizations. So it's a very cool tie-in. JPJ, that is one of our largest arenas, and I have seen Elton John there. Billy Joel has played there. Of course, local boy Dave Matthews plays there. I dare say it feels like Dave plays every year for a couple of shows, but I could be wrong. I am not a huge Dave Matthews music fan, but I am a huge fan of Dave Matthews Band and his Bama Works Foundation. So the other thing is Scott Stadium. Scott Stadium is the football stadium for the University of Virginia, and Dave Matthews has played there as well and filled it. We've had U2 play at the stadium and fill it. So there's a wide variety of large and small. Some of our smaller venues, you may know because they're very intimate and people come all the time, taking in a show, taking in a weekend in Charlottesville, having a fabulous little time. And then a lot of you reach out to me and go, hang out. We loved it. We want to look at living in Charlottesville. And for that, you just have to give me a call, drop me a text, shoot me an email, whatever works for you. Anyways, smaller, intimate, such as the Southern, the Paramount, the Jefferson. You could take in the leg warmers or disco biscuits. So a wide variety of small venues. Some outdoor, well, they originated as outdoor. Ash Lawn Opera is conducted during the summer. That actually works with artists that are from all over, from New York. These are actual professionally trained artists. And they will do a repertoire, I think it is 2 or 3 opera shows. It used to be conducted at Ash Lawn, outside, but it has since been moved to downtown to the Paramount, because that way, obviously, certain conditions can be kept in check, such as if it rains, well, it used to cancel the show. So if it rains now, it's no big deal. But Ash Lawn Opera, UVA Theater Festival, that is a repertoire during the summer. And traditionally, I want to say that they have like 5, 6, 7 shows that go in and out throughout the summer. So again, phenomenal theater options, phenomenal art scene. And let's talk about some of the festivals. We used to have Festival of the Photo. So again, a very large art installation where it was actually very full, because you could walk the downtown mall and there would be these 10, 12, 20 foot reproduction of the photographs, and it was just sort of being immersed. And then they also had speakers and information and all that, but even if that wasn't your thing, like you didn't want to go to a speaker or whatever, you could just be with the arts, and it was very, very cool. The other thing that has, well, this year I believe it's celebrating its 12th annual Tom Tom Festival. And then we have a movie. There's just a lot, because again, Charlottesville is just huge for the arts scene. So whether it's the arts for photographs, for artists, or musicians, whatever it is, Charlottesville has it happening. So we started off really hot with a great pro. So I'm just going to come in with a one you hear all the time, con number 1. I've said it before in videos. I've never said it as a resident. So let that be clear. Con number 1, and this is coming from Reddit or one of the other, information sources that I try to, keep the vibe on here from my clients. Traffic. So again, a lot of people complain about the traffic. Now, some of it's warranted, because Charlottesville started and it was a grid pattern. So very small area, very set forth. Streets north-south, streets east-west, first, second, third, fourth, that kind of thing. Think Washington, D.C., the way it's laid out. But then, after that first initial pattern, it just sort of went out with the Sunday sit down or something. I don't know, the Sunday group that comes in and decides these things. It used to be a very predictable grid pattern, but that went away very, very quickly. And now a major complaint of a lot of people is the traffic. And it's a combination of roads don't make sense and congestion. So those are different things. So one of the things we've talked about with traffic, with road names, you will see switch. A major road can switch 3, 4, 5 times with the name. So you're driving along, watching your ways, looking out for the speed traps, and all of a sudden you're on Seminole Trail. Then the next thing you know, it says, turn on X, and you haven't turned anywhere, but you've separated. Yes, I give you that it can be confusing, but it is what it is. If you're used to very large areas, or if you've traveled in very large congested areas, again, California, New York, DC, Maryland, all of those areas, I would say, have traffic. I honestly just don't see us having traffic. We have heavy periods, and I always want to know, and this is one of the things when I'm working with my clients, if they want to be in certain areas, and I talk about schlep factor, I want them to know, how bad is the schlep factor? What do I mean? Well, if you have to travel A to get home, what if A is blocked? I want you to know that you could also potentially go B, you could go C. I want you to know there are options. The more options, obviously, the better for you. And some areas, you don't have as many options. So one area you're going to have a ton of options would be someplace like 29 North, the north end of Charlottesville, Albemarle. There's just a ton of ways going this way, that way, or the other way to be able to get in and out, get around traffic congestion. But then there's areas such as Scottsville, which is 2 lanes, 1 lane in, 1 lane out, predominantly. Now, yes, you could get on a bunch of little mountain roads, but most people aren't going to know them unless they were born and raised in Scottsville. So you have a huge issue if you get behind a tractor, a school bus. God forbid you get behind an accident. So traffic, I say it with a grain of salt, but traffic, con number 1. So a big pro number 2, and another reason that a lot of folks find or decide they want to relocate here is because of our beer and wine scene. So beer and wine, pro number 2. We have a ton of breweries. So if beer or if cider, hard cider such as Bold Rock started here, well, not here, but out in Nelson, which is just one of our areas outside of Albemarle. We have a lot of options. Random Row is in downtown Charlottesville. 3 Notched Brewery. Star Hill, which I'm sure you've heard of or seen in the grocery. Star Hill is just, well, it used to be downtown, but actually as they expanded and were growing, they actually moved out to Crozet. And so that's where they are now. And actually, I think one of my videos talks about, when I'm talking about Crozet, I actually show Star Hill. But those are just a few, and there's many, many more. So breweries going all the way out to Devil's Backbone, depending how far out you want to go, things like that. The Charlottesville Ale Trail. Don't say I never gave you anything. Charlottesville Ale Trail will give you all the ins and outs of potentially whatever you'd want to know in planning or when you come to visit, and to find out if living in Charlottesville is right for you. Starting at Market Street Wine Shop, which is, well, there's a couple, but no, actually, I think during COVID, one shut down. Market Street Wine Shop, located right off the downtown mall, down off of the Charlottesville pedestrian downtown mall. If you want anything to know anything about anything for wine, Market Street Wine Shop is the bomb. They have been here forever and a day. If you're looking for that light, crisp white, or if you're looking for a boating red, I don't even know if that's a term or a phrase, they can help you tremendously. You can find a vineyard in any direction you throw a rock, quite honestly, and they're all gorgeous and all phenomenal and fabulous. Again, just depends on what your taste is. If you're still wanting, so I was telling you about Market Street Wine Shop, well, just down the street from that is Michael Schaap's Wineworks. And he is really the leader of modern Virginia wine industry. So you can stop by Wineworks right off of, it's on the back side of 5th Street Station. So you can get there, again, a couple different ways, Avon Street, 5th Street, any of those, and you can get there very, very easily. And that's going to be within within the city of Charlottesville, I think Wine Works may be just right outside, a spit outside in the county. So beer, wine scene, spot on. And here's the other thing. They don't grow hops and grapes in ugly places. So remember that. So a big con number 2 that I've had several clients ask me because of this issue across the nation, and whether they're moving from Texas or moving from Indiana or moving from Pennsylvania, whatever it is going to be housing insecurity, the homeless. So yes, we do have, do I think we have a huge housing insecurity, homelessness issue? You see them, and depending where you are, will definitely see them more than less. But again, keeping it in context, when I'm up in the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, where you can be driving down a major thoroughfare and there are tent cities with people who are homeless, we don't necessarily have that. You will see, especially the closer in downtown you are, you'll see more homelessness. And why is that? Well, a lot of the services are located within that downtown area. We have Region 10, which does a lot with our with housing them, with housing folks with housing insecurity. We have Salvation Army is located downtown. We have Pacham, which is a connection of a lot of churches during this cold time of the year, that they actually open up at night and they bring the homeless in to be able to stay warm, stay safe, be fed a warm meal. Of course, and then a big one we have is the Haven, which is located directly off the pedestrian downtown mall. And it's I would call it a service center. It does not house the homeless, but it has brought a lot of the information, a lot of the services in under one roof to make it easier for folks who have home insecurity, job insecurity, food insecurity. They brought a lot of these services in to be able to help folks. So housing insecurity, homelessness, yes, you're going to see it. Is it really, really bad? I've seen it a lot worse. A lot of folks complain about walking on the pedestrian mall and the number of people who are loitering and asking for money. And we also see that on the corner, people begging for money at an intersection kind of thing. So that kind of stuff you will see, but do I think it's overwhelming? Absolutely not. Do I think it causes issues? I think there are always going to be people who don't want to see what the reality is. And unfortunately, due to economy, due to mental issues, there's a lot of reasons people are homeless, and it's never going to be 100% being able to be taken care of. So, housing insecurity, con number 2. So this was brought up in one of the questions. Now, I will go into this much more in a different video, but healthcare. So healthcare is amazing here because for a bunch of different reasons. For one, Charlottesville houses a level 1 trauma center at the University of Virginia Hospital. Isn't that pretty? Look at the pretty hospital. They also continuously hit the top tier list time after time for department after department. I do know several doctors. I know several support people in the health industry at UVA, and it is amazing. We also have Pegasus Life Flight, and that actually services at the University of Virginia. But the other hospital we have is Centera. So it used to be called Martha Jefferson, and it was a private hospital. It was bought out by Centera, which is a very large conglomerate. I want to say that it is still a not-for-profit hospital, but they still have excellent care, and they also rank very highly with their doctors. A couple of the things for UVA, U.S. News and World Report rank them as one of the best children's hospital. So when you have little two-legged family members running around, you want to have access to something amazing such as that. Newsweek labeled UVA the best hospital in Virginia. They have, actually, I want to say that they've also ranked as one of the top cancer centers, and I've worked with the cancer center at UVA. It's the Couric Cancer Center, and they do top-notch. They are cutting edge, but I will also say that Centera's Cancer Center is phenomenal as well, because in one of my previous worlds, I actually worked there, and the doctors who were there and the nurses, oh my God, chef's kiss to them, and their rate of recovery was extremely high. So again, two great medical facilities, UVA Hospital and Centera Hospital. So many awards for both of them, and they offer the spectrum. So whereas if you're PCSing here, it's actually going to be Centera is going to be the one that you're going to be seeing there because of your insurance. But if you, let's say you have housing insecurity, so you don't have insurance, well, you know what? Either one of them will, but UVA, again, is going to be a top-notch you're still going to get the ultimate care, even if the knowledge is that you're not going to be able to pay for it. They're going to work with you and figure that out. So across the board, healthcare is phenomenal. Okay, so you're going to probably love this one too. Con number 3. Pro number 3 was healthcare and all the phenomenal care you can get. And like I said, somebody had asked about this, so this is why I wanted to put this in here and mention it. Con number 3 is going to be healthcare in Charlottesville. And that is because of long waits. A lot of primary care physicians are not accepting new patients. So it can be difficult to find somebody who is accepting your insurance and accepting new patients. Here's a personal example. When I was young, I lifeguarded a ton, and I've had precancerous cells removed from my back and such. So I've always been on top of my skin care and making sure that I keep an eye on it. I had not been to my dermatologist, who I've seen for 30 years. I had not been to them in well over 5 years, so I knew I needed to set an appointment. The first available appointment they could give me was 4 months out. Now, that was for a skin check. So I didn't call them and say, oh my God, I have this funky, weird growth and there's eyes looking at me. I didn't call them like that. I called them and said, I haven't had a skin check done for a while. I need to get in to get one done. And it took 4 months. They scheduled it. I actually just went, and we found something. It's actually on my lip, but the doctor wants to check it further. So I was at the doctor last week. I'm going next week to actually have this checked out, like a biopsy done. So it can be long waits, but if it has to be done quickly, it can be. My sister, who is in her 70s, has a lot of health issues. And so we know a lot about her doctors are predominantly at UVA. So to call UVA and be like, hey, I want to call it, set up my whatever, it could be several months. But if one of her doctors found something, because I've been with her when this has happened, and she needs to see another doctor, we'll say her PCP notices something and wants her to see a cardiologist. They can get her in normally within a couple of weeks. And if it's something that is pending, imminent, they can get them in sometimes within a week, a couple of days. So, con number 3, healthcare can be long waits. Some will not be accepting new patients. But again, overall, lots of options. And I know of several amazing PCPs who are currently accepting new clients. So it's not that you can't find them, but you just have to look further and probably call a few additional people. Pro number 4, pros and cons of living in Charlottesville, Virginia. The pro number 4, low unemployment. Unemployment rate for this area is 2.4%. Virginia, the Commonwealth, is 2.9, and national currently, we are at the very end of the year, the national average is 3.7. 2.4, 3.7, low unemployment. Now, this can also sort of be a con too, because it means sometimes places are understaffed, which can cause a delay in services or can close. One of my favorite bakeries, they were having a hard time because COVID and the flu have been going around rampant here. And they just could not maintain enough people. So they had to physically close the bakery for several days. So that's the con part of it. But overall, unemployment, 2.4%. So coming off low unemployment as a pro, so a con coming off of the pro of unemployment rates being so low, a con is going to be a major housing shortage and the cost of housing in the Charlottesville area. Now, I'm being very specific with that. We see it and it resonates out into the counties. But to give you an idea, you often hear the MLS. That's the multiple listing service. That's all that means. And that is our local MLS, our local multiple listing service. Currently, there are 35 homes listed as active in the Charlottesville, Virginia market. Charlottesville physical specific, not Albemarle, not Fluvanna. Again, all of those add into the pool, but Charlottesville physically active, 35 homes. The average, you might want to sit down for this. The average cost of those 35 homes is $759,000. I know. You can preach to me, whine to me, yell at me. Well, don't yell at me. I didn't do it. But I know. I don't know how people do it. Average is over $759,000. From condos to a detached. So everything from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo up to a detached home with, I think it was over 5,000 square feet. The prices currently on those 35 active homes go from $255,000. So again, very reasonable, but that's also going to be a very small condo. So you're also going to have condo fees, all the way up to $2.872 million. So $255,000 up to $2,872,800 is the span. And that's why that average is $759,000 inside the city of Charlottesville. We are also in the slowest time of the year. So inventory is going to be the smallest. 35 homes would not even be a 1 month supply. When we talk about supply and demand, we really like to see it as a several months supply and demand. We have several months supply to meet demands. 35 homes is less than a 1 month supply. So that's why major shortage in housing, but the prices are, do I think they're going to fall? That's another big question I get. I think they're going to stabilize, but I don't think they're going to fall. I think some of the upper ones will become more realistic. I do not foresee prices coming down. And so that's my honest answer for that. Pro number 5, and I thought this was a really, really good one because I have not really mentioned it. And my son-in-law is a huge avid golf player. So I thought, you know what? This place is really phenomenal for that. Golf, 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 golf. The golf here is amazing. Now, it's not all in Charlottesville, but when you're talking about the Charlottesville area, including the other counties and such, Albemarle specifically, but some of the other counties, Afton, Louisa, things like that, we have open to all public courses, and some are like, we have the award-winning Spring Creek. I think it was labeled as one of the most beautiful courses to play. Spring Creek is out in Louisa. Check out my video on, I've done a couple on Louisa because we see a lot of people moving there. One reason is specifically because of the golf course. Spring Creek, Lake Monticello. Lake Monticello has a golf course, and you can pay and play. You don't have to be a resident. Meadow Creek is actually a county of Albemarle course and range. It's actually where my son-in-law took me to start teaching me how to play golf. And the best quote from that entire day was, "Somebody would play with you." Ouch. Anyways, another really cool one, although I hear it's in a really rough shape, Swannanoa, which is up on Afton. So going from Charlottesville, going over the mountain into Waynesboro, Afton is going to be in that area. And Swannanoa is a very interesting estate, and it has a golf course. Now, like I said, I've heard that the golf course is in rough shape. Old Trail, that is a very large golfing community in Crozet. Birdwood, oh, there's a creme de la creme. Birdwood is owned by the University of Virginia Foundation, and it was just redesigned, and it's home to the UVA Golf. So it really is a beautiful course. Anybody can play there. Obviously, you need reservations no matter where you play. To be a member, we have additional ones. So if you are a member at, say, Farmington, which is a private community located on the west side of Charlottesville, right outside, Farmington, and they also just had a course redesign. Farmington, Keswick. Keswick is going out towards Glenmore, out east side in Albemarle. Keswick is part of Albemarle. And Glenmore. And Glenmore, we actually did a house tour for a $525,000 house at Glenmore. And that community is built around a beautiful golf course. Those are all going to be private. You have to be a member of the clubs. So golf, 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 whether it's public or private, lots of options for my golf friends out there. So lots of options if you want to play golf, public and private. But here's your bonus. If you're like, yeah, golf, whatever, I actually played disc golf. We've got you covered. We have a huge, healthy disc golf community here with several different courses. Most of these are going to be in Albemarle County, though. There are a couple in the city. Meadow Creek, Meadow Creek is a park. Walnut Creek and Chris Green are all going to have absolutely fabulous disc golf courses. And I do not play disc golf. I never have played disc golf, but I have a good friend who does, and he's very active, and there is a very active community of disc golf. So there you go. Whether you are traditional golf or disc golf, Charlottesville living could be for you. All right, so we are wrapping up and coming into con number 5. And I mentioned this earlier with the homeless insecurity, homelessness community within Charlottesville. One of the cons that really irks my nerve, con number 5, panhandlers. There are certain areas, certain streets that you are always going to see the same exact people. And I have no doubt, and I'm sorry to say, I have no doubt they're probably bringing in more money than I am, because people people here, I see them hand over money all the time. But it's also, to me, it's also a safety thing. Certain areas in downtown, you'll see the firefighters and rescue squad workers, or there's a church that also walks up and down with buckets or boots to throw coins in trying to raise funds. Even those, to me, just dangerous. So to me, panhandlers, whether they are allowed, whether they are a noted, so somebody like the fire department or a church or something, or whether it's just somebody who has home insecurity. I will say, you often see the sign that says, need money, need food, need a job. But there's one gentleman, and it cracks me up because I've seen him in different areas, and I don't know if he's doing it. I don't know. He probably actually makes a ton of money, but he actually holds a sign that says money or weed. So that's always a different take on it, and people just laugh about that. So I've never talked to him. I don't know what his intake is for the money or the weed. So there you go, money or weed as a panhandler. That's overall. But the other thing that irritates me from it not being a safety thing is the trash that is left behind. So you see a lot of folks will now drop off, food. They'll often drop off drinks, water, Gatorade, things like that, or blessing bags that have like a pair of socks and some money, and you go past that area later and the panhandler is gone and all that trash is just laying there, including many of those blessing bags, because they were just standing there for the money. So I'm going to end this by saying panhandlers are con number 5 for Charlottesville, Virginia. So I can't go out on a womp womp. So I am giving you a bonus pro. And the bonus pro for pros and cons of living in Charlottesville, Virginia is going to be farm-to-table food. Holy crap. We have a number of farm shares. We have the ability, actually, I am going to be buying a quarter of a cow. Is that what it is? From a fresh farm, a small farm that doesn't do antibiotics and all that. Anyways, a lot of options, a lot of markets, a lot of farm to table, a lot of phenomenal food, places that are local that do the farm to table, places like Downtown Mall. There's Petit Pois, the local, Farm Bell Kitchen. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. Hamilton's, they're phenomenal in trying to make everything farm to table. But the food, the farm to table, the availability of farmer markets and fresh food and farm shares, huge, huge, huge bonus pro. So can you handle it? That's it. Any of these pros and cons surprise you? As you know, I am the queen of not being subtle. So this is not Chamber of Commerce. These are true to form. I don't want you coming to see me and looking around going, you never mentioned that. Because again, I want you to know what living in Charlottesville is all about. If I've given you anything today, or if you've enjoyed any of this, please hit that like button. It really does do my heart good to know that somebody's out there watching and that I'm not just doing these for my health. So I would really appreciate that. Please feel free to connect with me. Email, text, call. Make sure you hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any new content as it comes out. Traditionally, I'm uploading every Tuesday and Saturday so that you can plan, grab your popcorn and join me and watch along. Let me know, drop me a comment. What do you want to know about? But until next time, living in Charlottesville and you, are they going to go hand in hand? I don't know. Check out some of my other videos and see what else you can learn.